How to achieve inner peace. In today's fast-paced world, where stress, anxiety, and frustration seem to be constant companions, controlling our emotions is more crucial than ever. Whether it's dealing with workplace pressure, social media outrage, personal relationships, or the endless stream of bad news, our emotions are tested daily. We often feel powerless, reacting impulsively, getting consumed by anger, or drowning in worry. But what if there was a way to remain unshaken, no matter what life throws at us? The ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers a practical and time-tested solution: emotional mastery through rational thinking and perspective. The Stoics believed that we cannot control external events, but we can always control how we respond to them. They taught that true peace isn't found in perfect circumstances, but in developing a resilient mind, one that remains calm in adversity, steady in conflict, and free from unnecessary suffering. By learning how to shift our mindset and detach from emotional turmoil, we can navigate modern life with clarity, confidence, and inner strength. Let's explore how Stoicism can help us break free from emotional slavery and cultivate the peace of mind we all seek. Embrace willingness in life, finding peace by accepting what is. Life rarely unfolds exactly as we expect. We face setbacks, unexpected detours, and daily frustrations that seem to push us off course. The natural reaction is to resist, to wish things were different, to dwell on what should have been, or to fight against reality itself. But resistance only deepens our suffering. Instead, as Marcus Aurelius wisely advised, accept the things to which fate binds you. This doesn't mean we should be passive or indifferent. Rather, it calls us to embrace life as it comes, to move with the current instead of exhausting ourselves by swimming against it. When we willingly accept what we cannot control, we open ourselves to a deeper sense of peace and resilience. Modern life presents countless opportunities to practice this mindset. Consider your daily challenges: a heavy workload, an unexpected expense, a difficult conversation. Instead of approaching these moments with resentment or frustration, what if we embrace them with gratitude? The simple shift from why me to why not me changes everything. A long day at work is not just an obligation. It is a chance to develop patience and perseverance. A difficult boss is not just a source of stress, but an opportunity to practice self-control and understanding. Even mundane tasks, like doing the dishes or sitting in traffic, can become moments of presence rather than sources of irritation. Gratitude transforms our relationship with life. When we stop resisting reality and instead engage with it fully, we find hidden opportunities in every challenge. The willingness to accept life as it is, not just the pleasant parts, but all of it, leads to inner peace. Strength does not come from controlling the world, but from learning to embrace it as it unfolds. By choosing willingness over resistance, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and step into a life of deeper fulfillment. Stop judging others. Free yourself from unnecessary suffering. Judging others is one of the quickest ways to invite frustration, anger, and negativity into our own lives. We constantly evaluate people, the way they talk, how they dress, the decisions they make, without realizing how much energy this drains from us. But what does judgment actually accomplish? It rarely changes others, and more often than not, it only fuels our own irritation and disappointment. Marcus Aurelius reminds us of a simple truth: you always own the option of having no opinion. Instead of jumping to conclusions or condemning others for their actions, we can choose to let go. By doing so, we free ourselves from unnecessary emotional turmoil and cultivate inner peace. Modern life provides endless opportunities for judgment. We criticize the slow driver in front of us, the coworker who seems lazy, the stranger who is rude in a store. But what if, instead of reacting with anger, we paused and considered a different perspective? People act based on their own circumstances, experiences, and struggles, many of which we will never fully understand. The driver may be distracted because they just received bad news. The coworker may be struggling with personal problems. The rude stranger may be overwhelmed by stress. When we recognize that everyone is carrying their own burdens, it becomes easier to replace judgment with empathy. And when we do that, our own emotional load lightens. Letting go of judgment does not mean we excuse harmful behavior, nor does it mean we allow ourselves to be mistreated. It simply means we stop allowing others' actions to dictate our emotional state. By releasing the need to judge, we regain control over our own peace of mind. The less we judge, the more we understand, and the more we understand, the more we find the serenity we seek. Let go of control. Free yourself from unnecessary struggle. Many of life's frustrations stem from one simple mistake. We try to control things that are not within our power. We expect people to act the way we want, situations to unfold according to our plans, and outcomes to match our desires. But reality does not bend to our will. No matter how much effort we put into influencing others, the truth remains. People will do what they choose, and life will unfold as it does. The more we resist this, the more frustration, stress, and disappointment we invite into our lives. Instead of exhausting ourselves trying to control the uncontrollable, we should shift our focus to what is always within our power, our own reactions, our own mindset, and our own choices. Imagine standing at the edge of a river, trying to stop its flow with your hands. No matter how much effort you put in, the water will continue to move, indifferent to your struggle. Life is much the same way. You cannot stop the river's flow, but you can learn to navigate it. Rather than fighting against reality, we must learn to steer our own boat, to adjust, adapt, and remain steady regardless of the current. When a situation does not go as planned, instead of resisting or complaining, we can ask ourselves, what is within my control here? The answer is always the same, our response. Letting go of control does not mean we become passive or indifferent. It means we recognize what is and is not within our power, and we stop wasting energy on what we cannot change. By doing this, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. We gain the clarity to focus on what truly matters, living with wisdom, inner peace, and resilience. Embrace imperfection, finding peace in the flaws of life. Perfection is an illusion, yet many of us chase it relentlessly, whether in our careers, relationships, or personal growth. We expect people to always be kind, situations to unfold smoothly, and ourselves to perform flawlessly. But reality is far from perfect. People make mistakes, plans fall apart, and we fail more times than we'd like to admit. When we demand perfection from life, we set ourselves up for frustration and disappointment. Instead of resisting the inevitable flaws and shortcomings, we must learn to embrace imperfection. As Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. If we view imperfection as a flaw, we will always be unhappy. But if we choose to see it as a natural part of existence, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. Think about a cracked vase. Although broken, it still holds water, still serves its purpose. Life is much the same way. Imperfection does not diminish value. It adds depth, uniqueness, and character. When we accept this, we develop resilience. A failed project is no longer a disaster. It is a lesson. A disagreement with a friend is not the end of the relationship. It is an opportunity for understanding. A personal mistake is not a reason for self-hatred. It is a stepping stone for growth. The key to inner peace is not in eliminating flaws, but in embracing them with wisdom and perspective. By letting go of the impossible pursuit of perfection, we allow ourselves to breathe, to live fully, and to appreciate life as it is, not as we wish it to be. Accepting imperfection does not mean settling for mediocrity, but rather recognizing that flaws are an essential part of growth, beauty, and ultimately, peace. Take responsibility for your feelings, reclaiming your inner peace. It is easy to blame external events, difficult people, or unfair circumstances for our emotions. When someone insults us, we feel angry. When plans fall apart, we feel frustrated. When life does not go our way, we feel defeated. But the truth is, these external factors do not create our emotions. We do. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." This means that while we cannot control what happens to us, we can always control how we respond. If we allow every inconvenience, criticism, or unexpected obstacle to dictate our mood, we will always be at the mercy of the world around us. But when we take responsibility for our feelings, we reclaim our inner peace. One of the most effective ways to do this is through mindfulness. By observing our emotions rather than being consumed by them, we create space between an event and our reaction. Instead of instantly lashing out in anger or sinking into despair, we can pause, reflect, and choose a response that aligns with our values. Another powerful practice is journaling. Writing down our thoughts and emotions helps us understand our triggers and recognize patterns in our reactions. Over time, we realize that much of our suffering comes not from the event itself, but from our interpretation of it. Taking responsibility for our feelings is not about suppressing emotions or pretending to be unaffected by life. It is about recognizing that our emotional state is within our control. The more we strengthen this mindset, the less power the outside world has over us. Challenges will still arise, but instead of being thrown off balance, we will respond with wisdom, resilience, and an unshakable sense of inner peace. Practice non-reaction, the power of patience and restraint. In today's fast-paced world, where emotions are constantly triggered by social media, workplace stress, and personal conflicts, reacting impulsively has become a norm. When someone offends us, we fire back. When something goes wrong, we vent instantly. But Stoicism teaches us a different, more powerful approach, one of non-reaction. Instead of responding immediately to anger-inducing situations, we must learn to pause. As Seneca wisely said, the greatest remedy for anger is delay. Giving ourselves time to process emotions prevents us from making hasty decisions we later regret. More often than not, anger fades with time, and what once seemed unbearable appears trivial in hindsight. Practicing non-reaction is not about suppressing emotions, but about mastering them. It is about recognizing that not every situation requires a response. Silence, at times, is the most powerful answer. When we refuse to engage in unnecessary conflict, we conserve our energy for things that truly matter. If someone criticizes us unfairly, reacting defensively only fuels the argument. If a colleague provokes us, responding with irritation only escalates the tension. But when we delay our response, choosing patience over impulse, we maintain control over ourselves. One practical way to cultivate non-reaction is through deep breathing. When faced with an emotionally charged moment, taking slow breaths allows the mind to regain clarity. Another method is reframing, asking ourselves whether the issue at hand will matter in a week, a month, or a year. Most of the time, the answer is no. Practicing non-reaction helps us avoid unnecessary stress, protect our peace, and approach life's challenges with wisdom. The less we allow external events to control our emotions, the stronger and more resilient we become. True power lies not in reacting, but in choosing when and if a response is even necessary. Find joy in selflessness, the path to inner peace. In a world driven by competition, personal ambition, and constant self-improvement, it is easy to become consumed by our own struggles. However, true fulfillment does not come from selfish pursuits alone, but from extending kindness to others. When we shift our focus from ourselves to those around us, we experience a profound sense of inner peace. As Seneca reminds us, wherever there is a human being, there's an opportunity for kindness. Every day presents countless chances to practice selflessness, whether it's offering a listening ear to a friend, helping a stranger, or simply showing patience in moments of frustration. These small acts of kindness not only uplift others, but also bring a deep sense of contentment within ourselves. Helping others is one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to break free from our own negative emotions. When we become too focused on our own problems, we magnify them, allowing stress and anxiety to take hold. But when we engage in selfless acts, we gain perspective. We realize that everyone is fighting their own battles, and in helping them, we lighten our own burdens. Scientific studies even suggest that acts of kindness release serotonin and oxytocin, chemicals that promote happiness and reduce stress. Stoicism teaches us that by aligning our actions with virtue, we cultivate a sense of purpose that transcends fleeting pleasures. Additionally, selflessness includes practicing forgiveness, not as a favor to others, but as a gift to ourselves. Holding on to resentment only fuels anger, keeping us trapped in emotional turmoil. Forgiveness does not mean condoning harmful behavior. Rather, it means freeing ourselves from the chains of bitterness. Letting go of grudges creates space for inner peace, allowing us to move forward without the weight of past wounds. When we embrace selflessness through acts of kindness and forgiveness, we step closer to true emotional freedom, fostering a life filled with meaning, connection, and tranquility. Reframe your perspective, the key to emotional freedom. In life, we often believe that external events dictate our emotions, but in reality, it is our interpretation of these events that shapes our feelings. As Stoicism teaches, most of our emotional distress does not come from what happens to us, but from how we perceive it. Two people can face the same challenge. One sees it as a disaster, the other as an opportunity. The difference is not in the event itself, but in the mindset behind it. By learning to reframe our perspective, we regain control over our emotions and find greater inner peace. Consider a common modern frustration, being stuck in traffic. Many people react with impatience, stress, or anger, thinking this is wasting my time. Why does this always happen to me? However, another person in the same situation might think, this is a chance to listen to an audiobook, reflect on my day, or simply practice patience. The external situation remains the same, but the emotional experience is entirely different. This is the power of perspective. Reframing also applies to more significant life challenges. A job loss can be seen as a failure or as an opportunity to explore new possibilities. A breakup can be perceived as the end of happiness or as a chance for personal growth. If we shift our focus from what we have lost to what we can learn, our suffering diminishes. As Epictetus, a great Stoic philosopher, taught, men are disturbed not by things, but by the view they take of them. This practice does not mean ignoring difficulties or pretending everything is perfect. Rather, it is about consciously choosing interpretations that empower rather than weaken us. The world is full of unpredictable events, but by reframing our perspective, we take back control, turning obstacles into lessons, setbacks into stepping stones, and daily frustrations into moments of growth. Train yourself through voluntary discomfort, strengthening the mind for life challenges. One of the main reasons we struggle emotionally in difficult times is that we are unaccustomed to discomfort. Modern life has provided convenience at every turn. Climate-controlled environments, instant food delivery, and entertainment at our fingertips. While these advancements make life easier, they also make us less resilient to hardship. When an unexpected challenge arises, such as financial difficulties, job loss, or relationship struggles, we often react with frustration, anxiety, or despair because we have never trained ourselves to endure discomfort. Stoicism offers a powerful remedy, voluntary discomfort. By deliberately exposing ourselves to small difficulties, we strengthen our minds, build resilience, and reduce emotional reactivity when true hardships arise. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, regularly practiced voluntary discomfort. He would occasionally sleep on the floor, eat plain food, and wear simple clothing, reminding himself that he could endure hardship if necessary. This was not self-punishment, but mental training. By experiencing discomfort on his own terms, he became less fearful of future misfortunes. In the modern world, We can apply this principle in small but impactful ways. Taking cold showers, fasting for a short period, exercising in challenging conditions, or going a day without luxuries can help us build discipline and mental toughness. These practices remind us that we are stronger than we think and that we can endure discomfort without breaking down. Training in voluntary discomfort also helps us shift our mindset. Instead of fearing hardships, we learn to accept them as part of life. If we regularly push our limits, we develop a quiet confidence that allows us to remain calm in the face of adversity. Over time, we realize that our happiness does not depend on comfort, but on our ability to navigate life's uncertainties with strength and clarity. Practice negative visualization, premeditatio malorum, preparing the mind for life's uncertainties. One of the biggest sources of anxiety in modern life is the fear of what might go wrong. Losing a job, failing a relationship, encountering financial trouble, or facing health issues. Many people try to suppress these fears, but Stoicism teaches a different approach. Instead of avoiding unpleasant possibilities, we should deliberately contemplate them. This practice, known as premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils, helps us mentally prepare for difficulties before they arise. By imagining setbacks in advance, we reduce our emotional shock when they happen and increase our ability to respond with wisdom rather than panic. The Stoic philosopher Seneca encouraged this practice, stating that we should regularly reflect on worst-case scenarios, not to dwell in negativity, but to build resilience. If we imagine losing something, a job, money, or even a loved one, it forces us to appreciate it more while we have it. At the same time, it conditions our mind to remain steady should that loss ever come to pass. A modern application of this could be visualizing what you would do if you lost your job. Instead of fearing it vaguely, picture yourself calmly updating your resume, networking, and looking for new opportunities. This reduces anxiety because you've already rehearsed the response in your mind. Negative visualization is not about pessimism. It's about preparation. Life is unpredictable, and suffering is inevitable. By mentally preparing for potential hardships, we become less fragile. When difficulties arise, they don't break us because we have already faced them in our minds. Instead of being caught off guard, we meet challenges with a sense of steadiness, knowing we are ready for whatever life brings. In doing so, we free ourselves from unnecessary worry and cultivate true inner peace. Thank you for taking the time to engage with these Stoic principles. In a world filled with uncertainty, stress, and emotional turbulence, the wisdom of Stoicism offers a timeless guide to finding inner peace and resilience. By practicing mindfulness, embracing imperfection, letting go of control, and training ourselves for adversity, we develop the strength to face life's challenges with grace. Remember, true peace doesn't come from avoiding hardships, but from changing how we respond to them. I appreciate your time and dedication to self-improvement. May you continue to cultivate wisdom, patience, and tranquility in your journey. Stay strong, stay mindful, and most importantly, stay at peace.